And there was no coach or mentor that told me that. And I was like, why didn't anybody ever tell me this? It just clicked for me one day. And it was like, wait a minute, hold on. I started looking at data. And this is why I go so hard for collect the data. You need the data. If you're not doing enough income generating activities, okay, if you're not doing enough activities, period, to get the data, how do you make your next move? You have to have data. Data is going to inform. It can't lie, doesn't lie, it's there. But you have to be doing and generating enough activity in order to collect the data. So this goes into like that space of like, again, you're in the arena, right? Not sitting in the stands anymore, not watching, not researching, not planning. This is like, you actually have to be doing something. You actually have to have some motion. Hey guys, it's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. I've helped hundreds of creative entrepreneurs and business owners to take back their free time, generate additional revenue, and celebrate while living that work from anywhere lifestyle through creating online courses and digital education. So I'm super excited that you are here. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect. Master one thing at a time. Practice makes better. And this has to work. Right? Let's get it. Hello. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to In the Arena with Dr. Sonia. I am super excited, to be here per usual. While we are getting ready to get started, go ahead and drop your name in the chat. Let me know where you are watching from, or what time it is where you're watching from. I love to see the global reach of these episodes. I love the international vibe, the global vibe that we get when we bring these episodes and the clients that I get to work with. So let me know inside of the chat where you are currently watching from and drop your name, I love to see who's in the building. Now, if you are new here, first of all, I want to welcome you back to In the Arena with Dr. Sonia. I'm super excited to be bringing these episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Again, drop your name in the chat where you're from. All right. And let's get into it. So last week we talked about stepping into the arena, what it looks like, what your first 30 days should look like in order to keep you on track, not just motivated, right? Because we talked about how motivation is really like this fleeting emotion. It comes, it goes, right? It kind of blows whichever way with the wind. And we don't want to be like that. We want to know exactly what we're doing so that we can move forward and execute. All right. So we laid the foundation. Now, here's the thing. You can have all the strategy in the world. This is what I teach my clients, but you still hit roadblocks. It's what's going to happen. I actually was thinking about this morning while I was getting ready after my gym session and cardio. And I was like, man, there's like, Jump First really is not just a brand. It's not just a business. It's a lifestyle. There's this first jump, the initial jump where everyone is waiting, right, in anticipation about what's going to happen. It's new, but there's a succession of jumps, as I like to say. So there will always be like another jump because there will always be another level, the elevation that comes. Now it's up to you how long it takes to get to that next level, to get to that elevation. It's all on you. Either you're putting it off, or you are afraid to step into it. And so that's what In the Arena is really about. You still get stuck sometimes. There are still obstacles along this road and this path, but that first jump really is just the hardest and scariest. After that, you kind of becomes a new norm, right? Where you know that when you took the jump before, and you can think about anything that you've done in your life, because if you're watching this, you are a high achiever, a high performer. I already know my people, And so you can think about anything you've done in your life where you've taken the jump, you've taken the risk, and it works out. Like, yeah, there will be challenges, there'll be roadblocks along the way, but ultimately it works out. Like, you figure it out all the time. And it's really what life is about when you think about it, right? And so there will always be another jump. And so that's cool. There are moments where I'm still like, to this day, like, wait a minute, what do I do here? Right? And maybe you feel that way too, but that's exactly what tonight is about. So tonight we're doing hot seats, all right? Real people, real challenges, real-time coaching. Tonight we're going to do it Q&A style. So what I would like for you to do, all of the questions that you have, whatever has been on your brain, on your mind about online courses, about the initial jump from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, what that actually looks like and entails, what it looks like to build a coaching business, a mentorship brand, luxury, premium pricing, all of those things, all the questions that are swirling in your head about getting this done, not just a strategy, but also like mindset stuff, roadblock stuff, challenges stuff, like what's actually stopping you and keeping you stuck, then I want you to drop those questions inside of tonight's Q&A. All right, I'm going to set up the Q&A for y'all. And we're just going to do drop your questions here. And then next week, I'm super excited because we're actually going to be bringing you up live. Okay, so that's super exciting. So let's go ahead and start the Q&A here. Kat, what's going on? I know Kat is in the building. And I actually had my team pull together some questions that we've been receiving. Okay, and these questions, let me be honest with you, these questions come up probably every week. I'm gonna be honest. Every other day, there are similar questions, but they're questions that are real and they make sense to me. So we had the team pull together some questions. There are probably some things that you've been thinking about. And so I encourage you, drop your questions inside of the Q&A, inside of the chat tonight. I will make sure that I answer them before we hop off live. And then we'll also answer any other questions that have been coming up, because again, usually when you're thinking of a question or somebody asks a question, what I find is that somebody else is asking the same question. Okay, so does that sound like a deal? I'm super excited about it. Now, if you want to be in the hot seat for next week and actually come up live, then you can go ahead and drop hot seat inside of the chat, and we'll make sure that we keep an eye out for you for next week so you come up live. But for now, drop your questions inside of the chat. And even if you are not in the hot seat, or you are not, your question doesn't kind of come through or get answered tonight, I promise you're going to see yourself in these same conversations. And that's the power of being in the arena together, right? All right, let's get into it. I'm very excited. I don't see any questions in the chat so far, so we'll give it a second. Kat, if you want to go ahead and drop me a question inside of the chat, something that we've been receiving. These questions have come either via DM or email, or from another training that I hosted and didn't get a chance to answer those questions. So I'm super excited to be answering your questions tonight live about premium coaching, premium courses, and really taking these jumps. I also have a quick scenario that I want to break down, because maybe this is you too. I've talked to several people in the last, I'll say 2 to 3 weeks, who have really, Kat, let me know that you're able to actually type inside of this Q&A, because I've never used the Q&A feature before, but I'm excited. Why not? Okay, let's use new stuff. Do new stuff. I've been talking to several people, so I'm going to put this here about people who have their courses already created. Okay, and I'm going to take a sip of water here before we get into it. But there are people, perfect. Thank you, Kat. There are people who already have courses created, and this is like probably really aligned with this question: do I need a beta course first? So when you already have a course created, and I posted about this earlier as well across platforms, a lot of people are using AI nowadays to start to develop their courses, right? And what I mean by develop is like creating the content, putting it together, taking your experiences. And we have these cool tools where we get to talk to AI, okay, all day long. AI will get to know your voice. There's a lot of coaches who are rolling out with new software that is geared to helping you either form like an AI assistant or form an AI coach, or basically help you put your life experience into the format of a course. But the issue with having your course already done, like having the content done, is great. And using AI it can be a great way to effectively pull together, right, some of your life experiences. So we want to always, pro tip for your courses, we want to use the tech available to us. We want to use the tools available to us, but not allow the tools to create everything for us, okay? Because we want to separate ourselves. We want to differentiate ourselves. And if we're just pulling together information and continuing to flood these internet streets with more information, then there's not much of a difference between what you're doing and maybe what somebody else is doing, okay? The way to differentiate yourself is really to pull your voice in, start telling your story. But before you do all that, I encourage you to pre-sell the course. This is the best way to differentiate yourself, the best way to save yourself some time, energy, money, all those things. Okay. And I made this mistake when I first got started of creating resources, spending a significant amount of time and energy purchasing tools and platforms and things that were ahead of my time, essentially, right? Like I wasn't even at that point yet. And I was creating all these resources, ebooks and workbooks and coming up with different modules and lessons and all sorts of things, taking time to record them. I purchased a Canon camera, okay, a super expensive camera that honestly has stayed in the dust cover, all right, in the case for this whole time, basically. I pulled it out a few times, taken some pictures on it. That's really it, okay? And so a lot of what is filmed for courses is usually on a phone or a laptop or whatever is available, right? And so I found that out later, of course, that it doesn't have to be as polished as you think. So pro tip for your courses, it doesn't have to be as polished as you think it needs to be. I'm not saying don't be professional. I'm not saying don't show up in your best light, okay, or as your best self. I'm just saying like all the stuff that you think you need in order to make this premium course happen is not necessary. When you start selling at premium levels, also something starts to change, right? Like your premium buyers are looking for not the information, the transformation and results. How do I save myself the same thing you're looking for? How do I save myself time, money, and energy to get this done? Who's going to take me to the result I need the fastest? And we're not necessarily, pro tip for your courses, the selling point isn't faster or better. It's not the ers, okay? Like that's not what we're selling. We're selling the transformation. We're selling the result. So although your premium buyers are looking for faster, better, easiest, more proficient, that's not what the verbiage we're using or the main selling point for any of our premium courses. Okay. Hopefully this is making sense. So when it comes to, and I'm going to get to the point about a beta course first, when it comes to having your course all put together, it doesn't make sense if you don't have peeps and seats or you don't have students enrolled. It's like, what's it all for? You're spending a lot of time, expending a lot of energy on creating these things that maybe your students don't even need. That's what happened to me in the beginning. I was created all these resources, created all these things, and I was excited and rolling them out. And my students were like, that's great, doc. Thank you for that. But I actually got that concept down. I need help on this. And so I had to essentially go back and create these resources now, spending more energy, more time, okay, more of my resources to create additional things that my clients actually needed in the moment. This is one of the main reasons I always say pre-sell it before you create it. It's also going to not only save you time, money, energy, not only be more effective for your clients and students that you are working with, but it's also going to help you to stand out, right? Be the differentiator and really create something that gets your students results the first time. You don't have to guess. It's also going to help you get out of content creation mode, get out of essentially like this perfection only cave, if you will, where it's you're constantly tweaking brand colors, fonts, your website, like things that ultimately, let me not say, I'm gonna just be real. They matter, but maybe they don't matter at this stage if you don't have any clients to show for it. And I'm talking about consistent leads, consistent clients coming in. Okay, then it's like, well, why are you tweaking these things? You're not even really sure, apparently. And let's just be for real, okay? Because we're in the arena and I really want to give you concrete things that you can use to move forward. Those things aren't making a difference to the impact you're making or the sales that you're making. And we know that in order to make the impact, you got to make the sales, right? So you can't tweak something that you don't really have data for. Pro tip. All right. You can't tweak something, or you shouldn't tweak anything that you don't have data for. It's not those things that you're constantly tweaking. You're tweaking them thinking that maybe, and I thought this too, maybe if I change this, it'll bring in more leads, right? Or maybe if I change, maybe this is the reason that it's not working. But there's not enough data to support that thought process because no one has come in the door, right? So what are the things, I call them income generating activities? What are the things that you actually need to focus on in order to start generating the revenue, generating the income? Because when you start generating the income and revenue, the sales, okay, then you know that you're able to make impact because people are buying the things that you're putting out. Does that make sense? So do you need a beta course first? No. Beta courses are traditionally, people want to undercharge for them. People want to, oh, you can get it at a reduced price, and there are specific words that cheapen the buying experience for your premium clients. So pro tip, like, you don't want to use words like bundle. Okay, cheapens the experience, cheapens the buying process. I figured this out when I started looking at the psychology of my buyers, and you can check out Psychology of Sales is inside the mini training. Okay, shameless plug. It's at jumpfirstacademy.org. All right, there's an entire mini series called Psychology of Sales, and you can grab it over there. It's really going to help you get into the mindset of, okay, who's my premium buyer? Who do I actually need to be creating this for? How do I need to speak to them? How are they flowing through the buying process? So again, it's jumpfirstacademy.org, and Kat will drop that link inside of the chat as well. All right, so you don't need a beta course first. All my clients and students, they don't use a beta course. Okay, they don't use a beta anything. There's no beta programs that are necessary when you're selling premium. You just go straight for the premium. And I know that sometimes that can be a little bit scary. The way that I started out, I was afraid because I was undercharging for my courses and programs as well. All right, like severely undercharging. And then I started raising the prices because I started talking more about what I did. My clients started getting more results and seeing the transformation. And so I started teaching, well, why don't we just start at premium? Because for every single, and here's a pro tip for your course, for every single buyer that you have, there's a spectrum. So I don't call it a value ladder because I just don't believe in like one person at a higher level than another person, et cetera, right? So it's not really a value ladder. It's more of everyone's on a spectrum. Kat, when you get a second, can you drop that link inside of the chat, jumpfirstacademy.org? Perfect. You're going to drop jumpfirstacademy.org. Perfect. Thank you for your question number 2. I appreciate it. Anybody else who is here and you have a question about premium courses, drop it inside of the chat. Okay. I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going either with that, but Kat, jumpfirstacademy.org, please drop it in the chat below. Okay. Oh, beta courses. Let me like finish that thought. So people undercharge for beta programs a lot. So you'll charge, these $97, $197, those sorts of things. Oh, I see. I appreciate it, Kat. Thank you. She's like, I did, Doc. I did. I must be on the other link. Yep. Perfect. Awesome. I see it. Thank you. Awesome. I appreciate it. I also see some other questions inside of the chat. I love it. What's going on? Fight for Bookkeeping. Hello. I appreciate you. Awesome. I will make sure I get to your question as well. Okay. So, we're not charging $97 for our courses, beta programs, any of that. We're going straight to premium. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Thank you, God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Okay. Always reminding me where I'm at because sometimes my brain can go all kind of places. Spectrum. Okay. People are on this spectrum, okay, of at different places along your journey. When you think about the topic that you're teaching, remember where you were 5 years ago is not the same place you were 10 years ago. It's not the same place you were 20 years ago, right? It's not the same place you were a year ago or even 6 months ago. So there are people all along your journey. It's not this value ladder. I appreciate that terminology in the industry today, but I think it's more sophisticated than that. And when you start to look at premium buyers, it does kind of move that way. So remember yourself, like people think about audiences. Here's a pro tip. When you think about your audience and you think about selling, your audience it's not like different audiences. Think one person on a buyer's journey, like one person on this journey. What did you need 10 years ago that would have been helpful for where you are today? What did you need 5 years ago? What did you need a year ago? So it's like when I think of audiences, I don't have different audiences. I just have people at different points in the process. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because when I figured that out, it clicked for me. I was like, and there was no coach or mentor that told me that. I was like, why didn't anybody ever tell me this? It just clicked for me one day. And it was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I started looking at data. And this is why I go so hard for collect the data. You need the data. If you're not doing enough income generating activities, okay, if you're not doing enough activities, period, to get the data, how do you make your next move? You have to have data. Data is going to inform. It can't lie, doesn't lie, it's there. But you have to be doing and generating enough activity in order to collect the data. So this goes into like that space of like, again, you're in the arena, right? Not sitting in the stands anymore, not watching, not researching, not planning. This is like, you actually have to be doing something. You actually have to be, you have to have some motion, okay, in order to collect the data. That's all I'm saying. I digress. All right, but we're in the arena, so I got to keep it real with y'all. All right, so no, we don't need a beta course. Don't charge $97. Start at $5,000 or more, and just focus on, okay, so maybe somebody 20 years ago, you 20 years ago, right? That person that you want to help, that's where you were 20 years ago. Maybe their first resource is a $97 thing, but that person who's where you were a year ago or even 6 months ago, right? They might be ready for the premium thing. So why not just focus on initially selling to people who have the means, ability, and resources and intention on buying the premium thing, and then you can redistribute the wealth. Because when you free up your resources, your mental resources, I'm telling you, like, being in business, regardless of how many resources you have, and I'm talking financial resources you have, they're still like, it's a business. And when you start the business, you need to be growing it, right? You need to be moving. And so there's money to be made. And so when you don't have the money flowing in, it's really hard to be creative. It's hard to get into your creative flow and process. And so focus on selling premium first. Okay, grab the capital revenue that you need, and then you can focus on redistributing wealth in the sense of, okay, let me create additional resources for the person who's where I was 20 years ago, who may not be ready for the premium investment, and not even, they may have the financial means to be able to invest at that level, but their mindset may not be there, right? Like they may just not have the capacity to be at that level. Does that make sense? So it's not just the financial piece that stops a lot of premium buyers. You can have premium buyers who have the financial piece there, but the mindset isn't ready. Okay, so I just need to make that very clear. And then it can go the opposite way too. You can have premium buyers who have the mindset and they're ready, but they don't have the financial means yet. And so focus on people who have both initially and then redistribute the wealth. Hope that is super helpful. So no, you don't need a beta course. You're going to tweak as you go. Tweak as you go, tweak as you grow, but charge premium first. All right, how do you choose a premium topic? This is excellent. So any topic can be premium, and it kind of goes along with what I just talked about, right? Whatever you want to teach, there's a premium version of it. I love this. Whatever you want to teach, there's a premium version of it. So it's just about adding additional value to your programs. So when I first started raising my prices, I did it during COVID. And people were like, there is no way you're doing that. Nobody's going to buy it. And I was like, I'm gonna find out for myself, right? I've always been like a data-driven person. So let me collect the data. Let me figure out if this is going to work. Well, what ended up happening is I added more value before I raised my prices. So I knew, like, I can't just raise my price. I could probably, because I was significantly undercharging. Let me just put this here too, pro tip for your courses. Some of y'all are significantly undercharging for what it is that you're already offering. You don't need to repackage anything. You need to raise your prices and speak to the level of audience, right? The level of premium that people are looking for, because your premium buyers are already in your audience. You're just not talking to them. You're not speaking to them. You're not calling them forward to say, hey, this is for you. Right? So it matters who you're speaking to. Again, psychology of sales is get it. Okay, get it, because it'll change the way you start thinking about who you're selling to and how you're marketing your products and services, even if it's not a course. All right. So jumpfirstacademy.org. Okay. Kat had already dropped the link inside of the chat. Let me see if I can pin it. That way it's there. Yeah, let me go ahead and pin that. Yay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so every single topic, everything you want to teach has a premium version. You just have to figure out, is it already packaged in that way, or do I need to repackage it so that I'm able to sell it to that specific group of people? So you first need to understand who your premium audience is. Like, what are their characteristics? Not just demographics. Like, sure, they make a certain amount of money. They have a certain job. Their salary is this. Maybe they don't have kids. They have kids. Like, those demographic things are cool. This is how old they are. But psychographics, how do they think right? What's different about the way they think as opposed to somebody who may not invest at a premium level or be ready to invest at a premium level, right? So those are psycho. I'm so sorry. The connection is unstable. All right, hold on. Let me make sure we're good. Are we good? Let me know in the chat that we're good, that you can see me and hear me. We did some internet things today. So some internet changes and things today. So we'll take a look at that. Yes, 9 to Thrive. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate 9 to Thrive. Precious, hello. I'm excited. I thank you for bringing that to my memory. Welcome to 9 to Thrive movement. I'm very excited. So yes, we will talk about this. If you joined general admission, to anybody who joined the 9 to Thrive movement, can I just drop that inside of the chat as well? If you haven't joined, please do join, especially if you're thinking about making a move from your current 9 to 5 and you are ready to like do something different, okay? And jump. We will be talking about pricing. We will be talking about how to choose your premium course topic. We'll be talking about your audience. The whole goal of 9 to Thrive is to show you what's possible when you start pre-selling your premium courses. So the whole goal is to get you to pre-sell your premium courses, okay, before you create them. But we will talk about that. Now in the VIP, okay, if you haven't joined VIP, if you're in general admission, awesome sauce, love it. You have an opportunity to upgrade to VIP as well. Send us an email if you're already in, but you want to upgrade. Just send an email to hello@jumpfirst.org. And we'll go ahead. If you can drop the email address inside of the chat, Kat, I would appreciate it so that they can reach out to probably you. All right. And get in touch. If you want to upgrade to VIP, I'm encouraging you to do so. If you are already in general admission, you're still in for a treat. I'm super excited to have you there. VIP is where we're going to go behind the scenes and go deeper into your specific courses, period, right? And I help you implement the homework each and every day. There is a content mastermind that's coming up for VIP as well. So content mastermind helps you go deep into like, okay, here's a framework for my content, because this is the thing that throws people all the time. It's like, do I have to have my content done? It throws people. And I was like, let me just give it as an option for VIP. Like, let's just go ahead and map out your content so you have it. And you can do content in a day. When I was doing university courses, I guess I don't have to whisper it now. But when I was developing university courses, these days I sort of like consult on that aspect. But when I was actually developing them, I would get them done in a day and then I would sit on them because I was afraid to turn them in early. Because I was like, it's a mindset thing, right? Like people coming from corporate, like the better you do is like the more people hate that you do good work. And so I was like, let me sit on this I don't need them knowing that I'm getting it done in a day. Maybe that might be some points deducted. I don't know. So I would still turn it in within a week. I would turn them around and it was still like, this is incredible. Like, I can't believe you're doing this in a week. So we're going to do content in a day, and I'm going to give you the content mastermind in the VIP option. There's an option to upgrade to that in 9 to Thrive. So jumpfirstacademy.org get in. I haven't done 9 to Thrive in some time, but it's very beneficial. Like the last time I did it, there were multiple people who were launching their courses during the actual 5-day event, and they were profitable. So they made their money back and some. Okay. So 9 to Thrive, jumpfirstacademy.org/9 to Thrive. All right. Cool beans. So yes, this will be discussed in the upcoming program. I'm excited. I'm super excited that you're there. I'm looking forward to it. Pfeiffer Bookkeeping. I love your name, by the way, also. All right, so hopefully that answers the question. I appreciate you inside of the chat too. If there are any other questions that you guys have about premium courses, I'm here. I want to answer them. Okay, we'll take maybe 1 to 2 more. So we answered, do I need a beta course first? No. All right. How do you choose a premium course topic? We answered that as well. You can make any course premium, any topic premium. You are teaching from your life experiences. It's just about, pro tip, adding more value before you actually increase the price of your course. Okay, so the value of your courses should be 10 times the price of your course always. When I did this during COVID, I increased my prices. Again, people were like, no, you're not selling courses during COVID at that amount. And I was like, watch, right? And I did it. And the reason I did it is because I increased the value first, but I also started talking about my life experience. And I started boldly talking about my life experiences in a way that I had never done before. And for so many people, especially high performers, we are taught, again, it's that corporate mentality, it's the traditional education mentality, right, where we're taught to like kind of like simmer down a little bit, be humble. But humble doesn't really mean lower than anybody else. It just means you can still talk about your accomplishments and talk about the things that you can help somebody else do. Otherwise, how are they going to know you can help them if you're not talking about what you've done? If you're not talking about, you should be proudly like talking about your accomplishments and achievements. I mean, I had literally had people telling me that I shouldn't be talking about my PhD. And I was like, that makes no sense. You know how much effort and time and energy I put into that PhD? I'm gonna talk about it because I did it. People telling me I shouldn't brag about or talk about, developing courses for universities or helping my mom start a nonprofit. I'm like, this is my life though. Who else is gonna talk about it? I have to talk about it. You don't have to do it arrogantly, right? Like there's a way to talk about those things, but who else is going to tell your story? Who else is going to talk about the things that you've been able to do? And by you talking about those things, you will start to attract a premium level buyer, premium level clients, people who actually want to invest at those higher levels because they see what it is that you've been able to do. And that's different than motivation, right? That becomes inspiration because inspiration is internal. I tell my clients and students all the time, I am not like, this is not new. It's not new that this is who you are. It's just my ability to shine a light on who you are, on the gifts that you already have inside of you, right? And to bring those things forward. That becomes inspiration. That's where inspiration comes from. And for me, inspiration is so much better than motivation because motivation is fleeting. You got to find something inside that's going to encourage you to continue forward, right? That's going to drive you, especially on those times where we talked about at the beginning. There's going to be multiple jumps. Okay. There's going to be multiple times where you look around and you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What is actually going on here? All right. Multiple times. And so you just continue pressing forward. But the thing that's going to have you press forward is not motivation. It's inspiration. All right. It's the thing. It's internal. People talk about discipline. People talk about this and that. Like, yeah, discipline's cool. Habits are cool. But the thing that's actually going to light the fire that actually propels those things forward, the discipline, right? Like your habits, all those, it's inspiration. It's what is the thing inside that's driving you to go get what it is that you want. Perfect. Hopefully that's super helpful. I'm going to stick around for another few minutes and see if there are any other questions and comments. Awesome sauce. I had coffee again before tonight's live, so here we are. Here we are. Awesome. I don't see any other questions. Perfect. Fight for bookkeeping. What is a good way to choose a topic from life or work experience? Excellent. And I'm so glad you're in 9 to Thrive because that the first day is going to be exactly what we talk about, right? It's going to be, hang on one second. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kat. It's going to be exactly what we talk about. And I'm going to break that down. So it's basically what you want to do is think about your story. Think about passion and your expertise, right? So you need to figure out what's the thing that you're really good at, but also what's the thing that you get excited about? What are you passionate about? Because here's the thing, if you start teaching something that you feel like is just going to make you money or something that you know is going to make impact, and we are multi-hyphenated. Okay, high performers, multi-hyphenated. We already know we do so many things amazingly well that sometimes it can be hard to choose. Okay, what should I actually like teach about? Make it something you get excited about. Make it something you get excited about, but also that you know a lot about. Okay. So expertise plus passion. Otherwise, you are going to burn out. You are not going to want to continue teaching it. You are probably going to try to switch lanes, okay, at some point and go, no, I want to do something else, because we do things very well. And so that actually happened for a few of my clients that I bought on during COVID, because remember, during COVID, everything was going virtual. So people were like, I want to teach SEO. And I was like, but your passion, the thing that we talked the most about, where you lit up, was really about teaching somebody how to play guitar, right? Or teaching somebody how to self-publish. Why won't you teach that? I mean, it makes sense to me, right? And they're like, yeah, but the money is in SEO because everybody's going virtual. I'm like, yeah, but are you thinking long term? Like, is this a right now thing for you that you want to do? Because sure, you can branch off and do other things from this course, but like, don't you want to do something that's fulfilling for you, right? Not just something that's in the moment right now and trendy. We want something that's going to last. We want legacy. This is what premium courses are about. This is also why we're not charging $97 for a premium course. Okay. Again, like, we don't need to do that. We start at 5K plus, okay, 5, 10K, whatever it is that you want to charge. And I know that for some people, that sounds like, whoa, how we get there, right? Like, have never, like, that's not my salary. That's hasn't been my salary. That's not. And I felt those things too. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. What changed my mind was the last 9 to 5 that I left. I was making, between my 9 to 5 and teaching university, I was making 6 figures, and I was comfortable. I was chilling. People thought I was crazy to leave 6 figures. But it also opened my eyes to the fact that my commission, what I was making in commission per month, was so much. It was up there. Okay. I was probably doing somewhere between 10 and $20,000 in commission per month. And so I thought to myself, well, if I can do this for somebody else, why can't I do this for myself? Like, what am I doing? Right. That's what had me start down the path of, well, this makes sense. When I started, I still was undercharging. And the reason I was undercharging was because I was uncertain. I was fearful. I was afraid of judgment. I felt like I needed to start at the beginning of somewhere because nobody knew me online. I was just breaking into the industry. There were so many other people who were ahead of me. I had all these thoughts. And eventually I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I started looking at my life resume, essentially. I call it the master resume. And we'll go through this inside of 9 to Thrive. And I started looking at all the amazing things that I had accomplished for myself, for my family, for other people, okay, that I have helped. And I was like, why am I charging this? Right? Why am I charging this little bit? But also, like, can I add in these life experiences that I have to my course, my program? So that's essentially what we're doing, is we're going, okay, what is it that I've been able to accomplish through my entire life, my career, and then what makes sense to my passion and my expertise? What do I really want to talk about every day? When I show up to teach, what's going to excite me? What am I going to be excited about? Because people can feel your energy too, and your students, absolutely. If I'm going to pay you $5,000 to sit in your class and you're like, by humbug the entire time, I'm not going to want to be there either. Okay. So you got to find something that you're going to be excited to teach, that you're passionate about. Please don't just do any topic. And thank you for bringing this up. This is a great question. It comes up all the time. Don't pick a topic based on what's trending. Trends fade and disappear and all those things. But that passion, the fire that's burning inside of you, the inspirational piece of you, that stays. That doesn't go anywhere. So that's the most exciting piece. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is to help people uncover this is a premium topic. So I'm very excited that you're inside 9 to Thrive. I can't wait to help you all and work with you all. I'm very excited about it. If you haven't joined 9 to Thrive, please do so. Okay. Again, I'm encouraging you. It's jumpfirstacademy.org/9 to Thrive. It is pinned inside of the chat. Cool beans. All right, y'all. If there are no other questions, I'll give it another couple of minutes and then I'm popping up out of here. But I do appreciate y'all. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of you all inside 9 to Thrive. And also inside that mini training. There's a free mini training that will get you started now. 9 to Thrive starts next week. If you're in, you should have received an email, your welcome email earlier today, and you'll receive more details as well as your first homework assignment. Okay, that went out today too. So make sure you check that out. You'll receive more details as we get closer, but I'm very excited about it. It has helped so many people, and I'm excited to be relaunching it and launching it again and helping more people. Again, I haven't taught it in a while. When the last time I taught it, I told people, I was like, the doors are going to close and I don't know when I'm opening it again. And that was a while ago. That was a long time ago. So I'm excited that it's here. I've had several people excited about it as well. And they remember when I closed it, they were like, I missed it. And so don't miss it. Okay. Please don't miss it. jumpfirstacademy.org/9to thrive. This helps so many people. All right. So that is all I have for tonight. I don't see any other questions. If you have questions, we're doing hot seats again this Thursday. Okay. And I want to bring you all up and have you on video. All right. So I'm excited about that. I want to meet you, see you, feel the energy. I appreciate the energy in the room tonight. It has been amazing. This is what we're doing inside of the arena. Okay. In case you were wondering what the arena is about, we are getting to work. We are no longer planning, researching, and trying to figure it out on our own. We are getting it done. So to everyone who asked a question, came up tonight, thank you for your courage. Thank you for being willing to be seen. Thank you for allowing me and trusting me as your coach and allowing me to coach you in real time. It takes a lot of courage to ask questions, especially in a public forum. So that does not go unnoticed. And to everyone watching, I hope that you saw yourself in at least one of these conversations, one of these questions, because we're all facing different versions of the same challenges. It's exactly what I talked about in the beginning, right? Like this spectrum that we're all on, this journey that we're all on. The details are different sometimes, but the root is usually the same. And so fear, perfectionism, waiting for permission, that's never ever coming from anybody else or anything outside of you. You do not need validation from outside of you. All right. These are the roots of a lot of our questions, a lot of our challenges. And so my question back to you is, what are you going to do differently because of what you heard tonight? Drop it in the chat before you go. Okay. What are you going to do differently because of what you heard tonight? I'm really excited. I'm so excited that you're in the arena. We're back on Thursday again, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time for more hot seats. I'm going to bring you up on video. So if you want to be on video, also drop it in the chat. Just drop hot seats. Okay. And let us know if you did not get your question answered tonight. Be here early on Thursday so we can go ahead and get this thing popping. If you're ready to stop figuring it all out alone, 2 resources. First, the free mini training, jumpfirstacademy.org. Okay. It's really quick. It's like 30 minutes, I think, or so, or less. And then over there, remember, you can get the resource Psychology of Sales as well inside that training. I'm also encouraging you to join the 5-day 9 to Thrive movement. Okay, 5 days coaching with me, mentorship with me, and join the VIP option so you can come behind the scenes, get the implementation, the coaching, the real mentorship, okay, hands-on about your specific course and getting your pre-sales and peeps and seats. All right, I'm super excited. The links are inside of the chat. I'll see you on Thursday. Keep showing up. And this has been In the Arena with Dr. Sonia. Welcome. I'll see y'all back here next time. Bye, y'all.